Okay, so let's just go in and finish this off. So we've got this nice looking base mesh. Now there's a couple of ways we could take it from this point, and I'll show you. We could now this is how they would do AAA development. From this point, they would go and into sculpting mode. Oh, for some reason Steam's starting, so just ignore that for a second. And once in sculpting mode, we would come here and we turn on Dino Topo. It's going to give me a warning, but just ignore that for now. Oh, there we go. We're in Steam. Close. And then how this Dino Topo works, essentially, is that it's just going to do the half, and then later it will apply the mirror modifier again. How Dino Topo works is that it's dynamic topology that stands for, and basically, if we are close in, right, it's going to add medium amount. If we go really close in, it's going to add a high amount of detail, and we can change the resolution of that. So if I put in 2, then it's really high resolution. Okay, you might not want to sculpt with that much detail, because if you look at the polys, right? Look how many. Look at the poly count, and you can come down here to see the verts. Okay, so now it's got 20,000 verts, and your character wants to be, AAA character wants to be no more than 100,000. So, sculpting like this, you can't use this. You've then got to go over and build the topology over it again, which we'll, hopefully go through and do all that. But we're not going to sculpt, okay? So that's not what we're doing. We're not sculpting. Why am I in wireframe? Oh, because I'm in wireframe. That's, if you were interested in that, if you're interested in sculpting, and you want to do stuff like that, this is how you do it. So, we're too zoomed out too far. So again, remember, you want to zoom right in for the high detail. Oh, why is it doing that? Maybe for this, it needs to have a higher resolution. So you just need to play around with this detail size thing. No, that's not working. Maybe I have to just give it all some more polys to start off with. Right, so just give it all more polys to start with. Ooh. And then if we go back to object mode, is that? Yeah, you can see, you can see that we can go in and sculpt stuff, but that's not what we want. So yeah, we're going to do all that, and we will have a video going over sculpting and stuff like that. But I just wanted to let you know that this is essentially a base mesh that we could go into and add a lot more detail with. But we're not going to do it like that. We're going to do it a much more old-fashioned way, and a way that'll probably make more sense to you. So let's go to oh, what's happened here? So I think some of my sculpting is still applied. So yeah, okay, there we go. We're back to our nice base mesh. So if we look now as well at our what it's done is it's give us just lots more topology, but all the topology is really nice. Okay, none of it's overlapping. It's all quads. That's what we want. We want quads. Okay, it's not pinching anywhere. It's giving us really nice topology, should I say. And then later on, we can go and add more complex joints to the knees and to the elbows so that we can get nice animations from them. But we'll do that another time. Okay, so with all that out of the way, let's actually get into adding detail. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add this face detail, ears. We might even go for these tufts of hair, but we'll see. And all we're going to do in order to make that work is we're going to add them as separate objects and then edit those objects and then pair it to the mesh so that it should all stick together. And there is a join functionality so that you can just join them all together. So let's see how that works out for us. Right, so the first thing I'm going to do is create this shape, this head shape. So let's go into front view. I need to be in edit mode. Okay, and what I'm going to use is kind of a new tool that we haven't used extensively, and it's called the knife tool. All right. So what I'm going to do, in fact, before I do any of this, I'm going to turn back off or get rid of the subdivision modifier so that I've got my clean geometry to play around with. We can always go and apply that again later. What do I have here? A mirror modifier. Have we not applied that yet? Okay, we're going to do that now then. Object mode, apply, because should we have done that? No. We'll leave that for a minute because we're going to do some more mirroring now. Right, front view, edit mode. Let's start getting on with it. Shift A. Oh no, we're going to create this shape first. So what we're going to do is we're going to hit K on the keyboard, or the knife tool, and we're going to create a. So you just like create these dots, and this is going to create more vertices for us, more faces. But what we want to do while we're doing this is try and avoid creating tries. We want to keep our quads as much as possible. So as we're going round, we're just thinking about that. So that there, if I just went there, that'd create a triangle. But if I go there, then there, we're a quad. No, we're not. I don't know, but I can make that into a quad. Right. Don't worry too much about that. You can have a few tries. Then hit enter. And then look, we've got all these faces now. But let's go and have a look what we've got. Yeah, that has created an extra edge, I believe. So that would definitely count as a try. Okay, so that's not the best. I'm not sure if that counts as a try. It seems to have 4 edges. Seal does that in a way, but okay, never mind. Don't worry about that too much. All right, then we go back here. Then we just easily select all these faces. Now what you can do is just press Shift, hold Shift and select them all. But if you just go to the bottom face, hold Control, it'll select all the faces in between. All right, what we have to do though as well is connect this line here. So I'm going to go back to my knife tool, front view, zoom in, and then click on here. And then I'm going to close that line up, hit enter, and then I can stop that. The reason I'm doing that is because I need to select these as well. So I need to do it at the top as well. So get my knife tool, click on there, and close that out, hit enter, and then I'm going to go and select these, do the same trick again, hold Control this time, and then it selects all of those. And then hold Control again, select that, and then right down the bottom, it's going to do them all. Hit I, because look here, it goes in a little bit, and then it goes in a bit again for his face. So we hit I to inset, and then we can inset that in a little bit. Do I want to do that? Okay, what's that's done is created a problem for me, because now it's created it down the front as well. If I just let me experiment here a little bit. Yeah, so you see, if I bring that in, it creates a problem. I think we might be able to get rid of that problem by just deleting those faces. Let's try that. So I'm going to go to my selection tool, and I'm going to select here at the top, and then come right down to the bottom, hold Control, and it's just selected that entire line for me. But I've missed one, which wants to be that. Then I'm going to do the same with this. Now, this is going to create holes in the mesh, I believe. So we might have to just go in and fill those holes. So I hit delete, faces. Yeah, look, it's created a hole in our mesh. Okay, but what we can do is if we grab, so selection tool, edge tool, if we select that edge and then that edge, oh, we can't. Right, so at this point, we're going to have to turn off the mirror because we need to be able to combine these. So I'm going to go into object mode. We can always turn it back on. I'm going to go to object mode, apply the mirror, go back into edit mode. Now I've got all the geometry I need to fill this in. Select them 2 edges, hit F, and it'll just fill it in. F, fill it in. F. And I believe if you press Shift plus, no, Control plus. No. There's a shortcut that does something and fills in the rest of the line, but I can't seem to remember what it is. Oh, don't press G, press F. Oh, Control Z. Z. F. G grabs, remember, so we don't want to do that. F. 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 And we've still got some holes. Oh, it still seems to be filled up. We've got a hole up here, though. So we want that edge and that edge, and we want to fill it. Again, we're going to have a try here, but it shouldn't create too much of a problem there. It's a teeny weeny one. F, fill. And there we go. So what I'm going to do is go back in and turn the mirror modifier on again. So let's, in edit mode, that's fine. Mirror. And then we're going to shift A. We're going to add a icosphere. Then we're going to S to scale that down, because this is going to be the eye. Make sure our mirror's working. Yes, it is. Drag those in. Make sure this is on, and we can see through. Oops. And it's where is my okay. I don't know where the mirror modifier's gone. There we go. Let's have a look at this view, and also, of course, we've got the reference to help us here. We're not doing this by eye. By eye, we're actually doing an eye. Okay, so there you go. And then I'm going to apply the mirror modifier again. So file, not file, object mode, apply. Before I do that, though, I'm going to go to the side view, because that's a pitfall that we don't want to. And we're going to just place those, go into the other view, in the head where they want to be. But we also want to look at it in 3D view so that they, all right, so we're going to have to poke them out a little bit more, right, like that. Then we're going to go to object mode, apply the mirror modifier. And then the last thing we're going to do is shift A, same thing, a UV sphere, S, scale it down. We'll grab it, so G, Z, so it's just moving on the Z. Then I'm just going to move this into position for the nose. All right, and again, we can just have a look at where the nose should be, which is there, but it's too big, and it's not, it's stuck out, not enough. So we can just scale this like that way, scale it down first, and then stretch it out this way, because it's actually a little bit more on that side. All right. So let's check the time, because I do want this to be the last video. Oh, it's gone over too long already. But obviously you can now go in using that same method. So if you hit Shift D to duplicate, brought this up here, and then can we just stretch it and, do that sort of thing. And then drag it, place it in the appropriate place, rotate it so that it's not completely. Let's get in the reference. Why can't I see this anymore? So no, oh, wireframe. Still, I still can't see it. Why has the wireframe disappeared? Object mode, of course. Edit mode. There we go. All right, and then should be able to on this. No, I don't think that's going to do anything. So yeah, just rotate this into position best you can. and then Shift D to duplicate again. This one's a little smaller, so I'm going to scale it down. I'm going to grab the movement tool. Oh, they're both. What happened there? Shift D to duplicate. Click it over here. Rotate it. Why are they? Oh, are they? Can't I edit them as separate objects? No. So in order for me to do that, I'd have to go out and so if I go to object mode and Shift D, then that is now its own object. So you just got to do it in the right mode. That's all. So scale that down like that, and then go to the front view so we can line this up. Go back into edit mode so I can see. Line that up. And I'm not going to do the other one, but this is just to show you. And then we want them to actually make sense on the model, right? It might look okay when we have the reference. I'm going to get rid of these images now as well. We're getting in my way. Okay. So just move that into the hat so it looks like it's poking. I don't know if this is supposed to be his hair or some detail on the hat. But whatever. And place that into there. And then all I'm going to do is just tilt it a little bit so it looks same with this one. Tilt that. All right, now I believe if we just go and then click all these separate objects and then hit Control J, it'll just make them one object. Okay, so now you can see it's just one object. Also, as the last thing, let's just apply the subsurface modifier, and there you go. It looks wicked. Now, what we would do for the mouth is we'd just use a texture for the mouth, I would have thought. But yeah, that's what everybody should be able to get to with this method quite easily. So I'm going to end that there. All right, guys. Nice one.